I, 35M, am sitting in our living room. It's quiet now. The only sound is the frantic buzzing of my phone, which I've set face down on the coffee table. I'm not ignoring it. I'm savoring it. It all started with a lie. For the last few months, my wife, Qley, 33F, has been distant. Our 10 years together felt like they were fading. She started having girls' nights several times a week and dressing up more. I told myself it was good for her, that she was just finding herself again. I was a fool. Last night, I couldn't sleep. I was scrolling on my phone around 2 a.m. when an ad for a dating site called Ember popped up. On a whim born of a creeping suspicion I didn't want to name, I downloaded it. I didn't even make a profile. And there she was. Third profile in. Qley. Username. Spontaneous sunlight. Her main picture was one I'd never seen. Her bio read, married, but emotionally available. Looking for a man who isn't afraid of excitement and can keep a secret. Let's make some memories. The status marker underneath was a gut punch, active 1 hour ago. The hurt was sharp, but something else rose faster, a glacial calm. I screenshotted everything. Her profile, her pictures, the bio. Then, I messaged her on the app from a guest account. Me, having any luck? I gave it 3 minutes. No reply. Then, I opened the family group chat she'd lovingly curated, the Morrison tribe, full of her parents and relatives. I pasted the public link to her Ember profile. My message, just wanted to share this. So proud of Qley for exploring new hobbies. I put my phone down. Exactly 3 minutes later, it started buzzing. Her name flashing on the screen. I let it go to voicemail. Then her sister called. Then her mom. For the first time in months, I think I'm going to sleep just fine. Update 1 week later. The fallout was a hurricane of entitlement. Thanks for the comments. It's validating to know I'm not the crazy one here. Qley stormed home about an hour after my group chat post. I was waiting at the kitchen table. Her voice was low, shaking with rage. What did you do? I shared your new hobby, I said. You're looking for excitement. I thought the family would be excited for you. You were trying to ruin my life. Take it down. Now, is it not your profile? I asked calmly. Did you not write that you were looking for a man to make memories with? That's when her sister, Jessica, 30F, burst in without knocking, already in full-on attack mode. Adam, you psycho. What is wrong with you? You're trying to humiliate her. Me? She did that herself when she made a dating profile to cheat on her husband. Qley, seeing her backup had arrived, immediately started with the waterworks. He's twisting everything, Jess. I was just lonely. He's been so distant. Jessica put her arm around Qley. See? You drove her to this. A man is supposed to provide for his wife's needs. The sheer, unadulterated entitlement was stunning. I wasn't supposed to get mad. I was supposed to understand. I just stood up. This marriage is over. I've moved myself into the guest room. You can stay in the master bedroom while you figure out your next steps, but we are selling the house. That was a week ago. The atmosphere is toxic. The story they're spinning is that I'm a controlling husband who faked the profile. The first dirty trick came yesterday. A police wellness check, called in anonymously due to alleged shouting. I calmly invited the officers in and explained we were separating due to infidelity. They get these calls a lot. They made a note and left. It was a clear attempt to build a narrative. It won't work. Before Qley got home that first night, I ordered and installed 2 small, visible security cameras in the living room and kitchen. Everything I do from here on out will be on camera and by the book. She wants to play games. She has no idea who she's playing against. Update 2, 3 weeks later. The escalation has been swift and pathetic. Qley and her sister really thought they could bully me. The smear campaign went into overdrive. Her mom, Diane, called, begging me to forgive her baby girl's mistake. She insisted it was silly and that I was overreacting. I told her I wouldn't discuss it and blocked her number. The next dirty trick was more serious. I was called into a meeting with my boss and HR. An anonymous email had been sent to the company's ethics hotline, accusing me of using company resources to stalk my wife and alleging my erratic behavior was a liability. That was the moment the last of my patience evaporated. They were trying to threaten my livelihood. I calmly explained the situation to my boss. He knows my work ethic. HR investigated, found nothing, and dismissed the complaint as a malicious personal matter. That evening, I hired the most ruthless divorce attorney I could find. My instructions were simple. I want this handled with clinical precision. Her bad faith is to be leveraged at every possible opportunity. My new lawyer's first piece of advice was to pull all our financial records. That's when I remembered the authorized user credit card on my main account, which Qley used for emergencies. I logged in and looked at the history. The girls' nights were not cheap. There were dozens of charges for fancy dinners, bar tabs, and, the real kicker, 3 separate charges for rooms at a boutique hotel across town, each for a single weeknight. The total was just over $4,200. My lawyer was delighted. He drafted a letter to Qley, officially filing for divorce on grounds of adultery. The letter included a spreadsheet of the credit card charges, which he termed dissipation of marital assets, and stated we would demand she repay the full amount from her share of the home's equity. Then, for the masterstroke, I sent a copy of that same spreadsheet and a link to her dating profile in a registered letter to her father, Robert. He's a quiet, old-school guy, a man of principle. I included no note, just the evidence. The revenge isn't about a group chat anymore. That was an appetizer. The main course is making her face the cold, hard, financial consequences of her little adventure. Final update, 6 months later. The last 6 months have been a quiet, methodical dismantling of a life built on lies. The divorce was finalized last week. I'm writing this from my new apartment. The silence is peaceful. Qley's world crumbled, not with a bang, but with the slow crush of reality. The letter from my lawyer sent her into a panic. She hired a cheap local attorney who was immediately outmatched. They tried to argue the credit card charges were shared expenses. My lawyer countered by subpoenaing the hotel's check-in records, which showed Qley's name. The judge was not impressed. The full $4,200 was designated as dissipated assets to be paid back to me. But the real turning point was her father. After receiving my letter, Robert called me. He sounded tired and broken. "Is this true, Adam?" I just said, "Yes, Robert. I'm sorry." He was silent, then said, "No, I'm sorry," and hung up. That was the end of her parental support. Robert told Qley he was disgusted with her behavior. Not just the cheating, but the blatant theft. He and Diane would not be funding her legal battle or her new life. This was a consequence she never, in her wildest dreams, saw coming. The house sold quickly. After the split, Qley was left with a sum far less than she expected, not enough to maintain her lifestyle. Her friends disappeared once the drama outweighed the fun. I heard even Jessica kicked her out after growing tired of footing all the bills. The last I heard, Qley is renting a room in a shared house an hour away, working 2 jobs to make ends meet. There's no sign of the exciting man from her profile. I guess he wasn't interested in a woman with no money and a mountain of baggage. There was no apology. To the very end, she maintained she was the victim. Her final text to me was, "I hope you're happy. You've destroyed everything." She was wrong. I didn't destroy anything. I just turned on the lights, and the cockroaches scattered. It hurts to realize the person you loved was a mirage, but I handled it with logic. I protected myself and refused to be the doormat she expected. She wanted to find herself and make new memories. She got her wish. It just turns out the reality of starting over isn't as glamorous as the fantasy. That's the justice. And it is, I have to admit, deeply satisfying.